Kia ora koutou. Hei mātanga parango hau ki te kaunihira o Waimakariri. Ko Sally O'Connell, tōku ingoa. Hello, I'm Sally and I'm Waimakariri Library's Local History and Heritage Coordinator. Thank you for inviting me to share my heritage journey with you today. And it's a privilege to be included alongside such distinguished professionals as we've heard. I'm sure you've been inspired, as I have, hearing their stories about their way into this varied and fascinating profession. And hopefully we'll inspire you to join us in this mahi. So the plan for my talk is to answer the questions put to us when we agreed to take part. And so we're going to start with, what do I do? And in this slide, I've got a couple of my examples. My main role is that I'm wholly responsible for our heritage site, Waimakariri Heritage. So that's on the right, my messy looking desk where I'm adding things to Waimakariri Heritage. As you'll hear later, that was a big learning curve. I also speak to community groups, schools, and individuals about our local area and its heritage. So the one on the left, we had the Waimakariri genealogical group into the library, and people were coming in to find some information about what they do. I teach the use of resources such as Ancestry Library Edition, Papers Past, and the use of digitising equipment to our community members. I do research, whether it's talking to people, reading books, or searching online to track down that elusive detail that brings their family story to life. I make oral history recordings, interviewing local people who want to share their story about life in our district and then put them onto Waimakariri Heritage. I work as a customer-facing librarian in our library network, which gives the opportunity to hear people's stories and make deep community connections during my day-to-day mahi. I work with stakeholders such as council and local heritage groups on heritage projects. So one day I might be researching a local family to add information to signage in a reserve, and the next I might be asked to help someone gain some more knowledge about their own family and connect them with a heritage group who can help them further. And how did I get here? So I started my career teaching primary school children. That wasn't really for me, like other people have said, but I certainly learned transferable skills, lesson planning, communicating with a wide range of age groups, organisational skills. And when I decided that teaching wasn't for me, I volunteered at my local library. So that was the library I started at in 1991. Shelving books, and during university holidays, I was offered vacation work, and I'm still there. Well, actually, I've left a few times. So this is the library that I still work at, 2026. It turns 30 this year. And I left a few times and I've come back. So I've worked in retail, I worked in our local post office, and I had children as well. These roles gave me experience of talking and listening to people, skills that are vital in the heritage and library sector. I started my library career as a library assistant and then worked in collections and as a children's specialist delivering preschool programs. So those teaching skills really did come in handy. So that's why I've included a picture of story time as well. There are all sorts of attributes that I've found have helped me in this role. So the photos up there are some of the things that I've worked on for Waimakariri Heritage. So things from maps of our area to the story of the Oxford sale yards. That's had a long association with our area. It's a real meet and greet place that would happen actually very centrally in Oxford, and it happened quite regularly, and people really miss that now. It's not quite the same. So back to those skills. Being brave is definitely a life skill that can get you places. The opportunity to work on heritage mahi was offered following the COVID pandemic. So I was an NZLPP New Zealand Libraries Partnership Program recipient. So we got some funds from National Library to run various courses and to employ some of us on different parts of roles that'll help the community. And I was successful. So after working with preschoolers and their families, it may seem a big leap, but it just shows you where you can get with a bit of enthusiasm and willingness to learn. Curating our site, Waimakariri Heritage, from scratch, while also creating my own role, was a huge challenge. It was the first time our library had a heritage specialist. Ours is a recollect site, so my colleague and I worked closely with their team on building the site so that it reflects our North Canterbury community. Never having built a website or studied in this world of websites and platforms could be seen as a disadvantage, but it certainly provided massive learning opportunities and growth. And making connections is so important, as everybody, I think, has said, because that's where you really find out so much about your local community, but also about yourself. Why I have the best job in the world? Well, I find everything about this role interesting. The people and the places, for a start. I've lived in the area nearly my whole life, and one side of my family has been here since the 1850s. So meeting the local North Canterbury community, hearing their stories and being able to preserve and share them is a real privilege. Meeting other heritage professionals and gaining insights into their mahi. I'm on the Canterbury committee. As Sean mentioned, Canterbury Heritage is an organisation of heritage librarians, archivists, and members of the Canterbury collecting and exhibiting community that provides an opportunity to share common issues, connect and facilitate events and training opportunities. Continuing learning. I'm not a digital native. It is grey here. Nor a digital expert, yet I was able to create our heritage website. Working with a council on a variety of requests from, do you have a photo of when the sewers were first put in Rangiora? No, I don't. To researching information and stories for interpretive panels, highlighting important local events and communities. As I'm sure you'll know, libraries are part of the GLAM sector. Galleries, libraries, archives and museums, and talking to people in one of these settings can lead to opportunities you may not have realised existed. Be open to new experiences. You never know where they might lead. Good luck as you consider moving into this field. It's a very worthwhile and fulfilling place to work. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.